guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a couple more things that I picked up during the Ulta Beauty sale. I can't remember exactly which day of the sale this was, but it was on the day the Bobbi Brown foundation was on sale, so I picked that foundation up along with a couple other very different things. I have a serum here, I have some hair products including a hair gloss. I even picked up some half lashes from Ardell, which I've never tried before, so we're gonna give those a test today. I'm actually wearing them, in case you didn't know. Definitely some major good things in here. Some stuff I'm not quite certain about. We'll get into that as we get into the video. But before we do that, if you are a new visitor here, I want to wish you a special welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Please consider subscribing to my channel and make sure that your notifications are turned on. With that, let's get right to it. Before we get into the makeup, I did pick up the Cosrx Snell 96 Mucin Power Essence, which is not necessarily a primer, it's more of a skincare item. I actually was thinking this might be more of a toner, but it looks kind of viscous, so I'm thinking that we can try and use this as a primer today. I've used serum type products as primers before. Now it's possible that doing this will interfere with the foundation formula. I doubt it. This is pretty thin. It's gonna soak in really fast. In my opinion, a little bit of hydration always makes your foundation go on a little bit better. Very nice, super, super lightweight. I mean, this is almost undetectable on your skin. It's not sticky at all. Okay, let's jump over to the foundation. So as I mentioned in my most recent or one of my recent videos, I did pick up the Bobbi Brown Weightless Skin Foundation. Curious to try this out today. The packaging is lovely. Very nice, sturdy glass bottle. Nice looking pump. Hopefully it pumps foundation well. The feel of this feels like the Cosrx foundation, if you're familiar with that. So I ended up going with the shade Beige. Crossing my fingers here that we got it at least close. It's gonna be a little bit light on me. I'm gonna take the tiniest amount of my Wet n Wild foundation, this is like 5 shades too dark for me. We don't need much of it, so I don't think it's gonna change the formula. I know some of you don't like when I do that because, again, you could say it will interfere with the performance of the foundation, but one thing that I do know, if the foundation doesn't match me, it doesn't matter what the formula is, I am not going to like it because it's not going to look good on my skin if the color's not right. And I don't think I'm gonna need much. This is closer than I thought, so we're just gonna take the tiniest dot. Let me know if you guys have tried out this foundation. I haven't tried anything out from Bobbi Brown since I started my YouTube channel, I don't believe, which is kind of crazy to me. I thought Bobbi Brown was like the bee's knees when I was in high school. That was the brand that like the real professionals used. Still just a tiny bit light. Does have a fragrance to it that it's not too strong, but it smells like the makeup counter, some makeup counter at the mall when I was in high school. It smells familiar to me and I can't quite place it. By the way, this does have SPF 15 in it. I don't love when there's SPF in foundations. I'm finding the more I try, I'd rather my SPF come from my skincare product underneath. Honestly, SPF 15 is not gonna cut it for me, especially in a foundation that I'm not applying an extremely thick layer of. So I need SPF on anyways. So I don't know, maybe it's just a little extra doesn't hurt, but I always wonder if it changes the formula a little bit. It's got to, I would imagine. That said, there are quite a few foundations that I love that have SPF. For example, the Hydra Rescue from Estee Lauder I love, and that has SPF 45. It's a beautiful foundation. Okay, I think we got pretty close with the color. Not spot on, but nothing a little bronzer can't help us out with. That was just one full pump plus the tiny bit of Wet n Wild foundation. The pump is lovely. Very smooth, nice bottle for sure. Before we get to the concealer, I probably should have mentioned to you guys what I picked up in this haul because it was kind of a bit of a random assortment of products. I got a couple of hair care items. We're gonna be trying out some half lashes today from Ardell. I finally ordered the Buxom full-on lip polish, which has been around for forever, since long before I started YouTube. It has been in a few of my like Ulta wish list videos, and I don't know why it took me so long. So we're gonna try out the shade Sandy today. It's crazy, these orders come and you're like, I just spent $60 and you open the box and it always looks like less in the box than it did in your cart. That's just the revolution. Skin Silk, I'm gonna add just a little bit of the Teint Idole Ultra Wear from Lancome. This was on sale, I think. I think it was on sale like the first week of this sale, but I did talk about it in my recommendation video, and it is a great little concealer. Mine is in the shade Bisque. So we're going to just apply, I'm actually gonna tap this on first with my finger. This takes a little bit longer, but I feel like I get better coverage when I do this. When I like tap it and let it sort of like start to dry and set. Did I mention the coverage on the foundation? I like the finish. It has a very nice natural finish, I would say. It's not overly dewy, but it's definitely not a matte finish. All right, let's blend this in with a brush just to brighten up that under eye. I'm probably gonna run out of this concealer very, very soon. I honestly use it every single day. I can't use anything else. I can't even go back to my Cali Ray because I'm just so obsessed with this one. I like the peach undertone. I feel like it does a little bit of a better job brightening up this little pocket right there. Let's add just a touch of powder and take my Rimmel Stay Matte powder, a large powder brush, and we're mostly gonna set down the eyelids before my concealer creases. The forehead just a little bit, and then the rest just what's left just right on the cheeks where I put that concealer down. We're gonna go back to my Too Faced bronzer. I'm loving this. I've only had it for a week now and I have not stopped using it. I just love the smell. All right, we're gonna add my highlighter first and then we'll do my blush. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Seeker highlighter. This was also on sale. Fortunately, if you missed this one, I'm sorry to say that you could have got it for half off, but it's honestly, I bought mine for full price a couple of years ago and I think it's, if you like a very strong golden highlight, this is your girl. It's a good one. I do have a pretty good close dupe for this one though. The Revlon highlighter in Daybreak Glimmer is pretty similar to this one. Actually, I'm gonna hold off on the blush until we finish the eyes. For the eyes today, I'm gonna go over to this Makeup by Mario palette. The video that I will be filming after this one, I'm gonna be talking about this palette, so I thought I would use it today. But I believe that video is gonna go up before this Ulta Part 2 video goes up. So anyways, if you missed that video, I will link it for you guys right here because we're gonna say some things about this palette. It's a great palette that I can't figure out why I don't love. We're just gonna grab a few of the mattes. Let's start with these two lightest mattes right here. I know we just powdered the eyelid, but these have, that powder I used was translucent. These definitely have some pigment, so we're gonna brighten up that inner part of the lid. Oh, that's right. I wanted to use my new Essence brush. This one's a little shorter than my other brushes, so it kind of hides in my little brush container here. It gets hidden, but I really like this. It's a really good, super affordable brush. You can get this for $3.99. Highly recommend. We're gonna take this shade right here in the corner, the top corner, throw it in the socket. This one's pretty cool tone. In fact, I kind of feel like the reason I haven't loved this palette as much is because of the, I don't know, I kind of feel like all these browns kind of show up the same on my eyes or similar. Even when I do cool tones, sometimes I like to start off with something a little bit warmer in the crease. I just think it warms up my older complexion. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to offend those of you that are older than me because we all know that old is just a relative word. It changes. Then let's take this brown right here. This one looks a little warmer. I'm always surprised when I put this one on my eyes that it doesn't appear warmer than it seems in the pan. These shadows have a really good formula. They're all very pigmented and blendable, very quick to apply. Okay, then going in with a small blending brush, this is the A504. We're gonna take a mixture of those two shades and just run it right under the lash line. Okay, and then we're just gonna darken it up with this brown right here. All right, then we're going to jump over to this Kaja Trio. This is the Peach Madeleine version. We're gonna take the first shade in here, which is kind of a foiled gold. And this particular formula does apply best with a finger, so I'm just going to tap this all over the lid. Let's add a little bit of liner and mascara, and then we're gonna give these lashes a try, and then we'll go on to the cheeks and the lips. I'm gonna just go with my Maybelline Sky High today. It's a really quick mascara. It's not clumpy at all. This is a great one to wear if you're wearing a half set of lashes because it just does a good even coat of your lashes. It's not too over the top or too intense. Pause on the lashes. We'll get to those in just a second. I need to do my brows or I know I'm gonna forget. So I'm gonna keep it really simple today. I'm just gonna take a basic spoolie, my brow soap right here, run this through my brows to get the shape that I want, and then I'm gonna top it with a tinted brow gel, the Benefit tinted brow gel, which I'll be honest is not my favorite tinted brow gel, but it seems to be everyone else's. I've read the reviews on that brow gel so many times and just like, what am I missing? Everyone loves this except for me. So I brush them up until they're about 80% dry, and then we're gonna take the Benefit Gimme Brow. This is shade number 3. Actually, I think it's 3.5. I can't remember. It's worn off. All the insignia on this has worn off. If you're looking for a quick way to do your brows and you like them to look a little bit fluffier, this is a pretty good option. Definitely gives you more of a caterpillar-y brow. Now we can move on to the eyelashes. So I picked up the Ardell. These are the half naked lashes. They're half lashes. They're the 421. All right, so this came with 5 pairs of these little half lashes. They look really pretty and fluttery. I love a half lash. If I'm gonna do a lash, it's only ever going to be a half lash because I just can't be bothered with a full strip. They're too uncomfortable. They take too long for me to apply. I feel like a moron because I can't get them to stay. And honestly, I just don't think they look that good on me. They kind of drown out my already relatively small eyes. So in my opinion, half lashes are the way to go. Okay, I'm gonna take my Duo Lash Glue, apply a little bit of glue to these. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these on and then I'll come back and we'll see how they look and how it went. All right, here are the eyes finished with lashes. They're very pretty lashes. They're definitely a little bit more thick and kind of fluttery on the outer corners than the ones that I have been recommending for years, which are the Eyelure Naturals number 3. I'm gonna link those down below for you guys as well. We'll see how these end up comparing. Honestly, I think I'm partial to those other ones. They're partly because I've applied them so many times. I also just found these ones, not just this one that I kind of damaged pulling off and some of the clusters kind of fell apart, but even one of the other ones, I felt like as I was pulling it off, some of the clusters moved around. They just seem a little bit fragile to me. I doubt that I'm gonna get a lot of uses out of these lashes. Whereas my Eyelure ones, I can probably get like 4 or 5 wears out of each set. That said, if you tried out those Eyelure lashes on my recommendation, thought they were a little bit not dramatic enough or too natural, these ones I do think are a little bit more dramatic. They do have a nice blend. I mean, they're a lot thicker on the outer corner, but I feel like they blend into the inner part of your lashes pretty well. You can fill them a tiny bit more on your lashes. I think that's partly because they're a little bit thicker. They're just a tiny bit heavier, but I wouldn't call them uncomfortable either. So that's kind of my thoughts on these so far. I'll definitely get some use out of them. I don't know that they will replace my beloved Eyelure ones though. Let's move on to the blush. So for today, we're gonna take my Milk Makeup Jelly Tint Blush. This one is in the shade Splash, one of my favorites. Beautiful berry tone. My desk is such a mess right now. I have makeup out for 2 different videos that I'm trying to like keep separated. Take my Milk Makeup brush, which I also really love, and just start tapping that on the cheeks. To say, my skin looks really nice. So far, so good with that foundation. Let's cross our fingers that it wears well, it doesn't break me out. That's really the only thing that's gonna be a major kicker for me with a foundation. It's not often that foundations break me out, but a tiny bit nervous about that fragrance. Now we're gonna jump over to the lips. So I have the Buxom Full On Plumping Lip Polish in the shade Sandy. Should we try it on first without a lip liner? I am gonna put a lip liner on, but we're gonna do a pink, like a bright pink lip liner today. So let's just see what color this provides and shine on its own. Ooh. It's way shiny. I like the doe-foot, very minty. Oh my goodness. It's been a couple years since I've tried one of these on my lips. They are pretty strong, as I'm sure all of you know already. These are by no means new, but that's the color. Let's swatch the color on the back of my hand. Pretty light. Honestly, in the tube, I was nervous. It's like, oh, that's a little darker pink than I thought. Okay, it's not dark at all. Like that's kind of reminds me of like a shimmerier version of Creme Brulee from NYX. It's definitely one of those glosses that I feel like will go on top of any lipstick or lip liner. It's not gonna give you a ton of color. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that off because we are gonna put along wearing lip liner underneath and I want this to set down. So don't wanna have any slipperiness on my lips. This is the shade Talking Backwards from About Face, one of my favorites when I'm wanting to go more like colorful. I love this color, but I try to put it on sparingly because it is pretty bold if you go real heavy-handed with it. All right, and we're gonna throw that on top. Okay, and here is the finished look. I took my hair down because I did also pick up a couple things from Paul Mitchell, including a hair polish that I wanted to kind of try with you guys. So I know the makeup's all done. This is how everything looks so far. Pretty happy with everything so far, especially the foundation. So far, so good. I actually really like how this feels and looks on the skin. Very good, solid, medium coverage foundation. I also like the lashes so far. They're very pretty. I will keep playing with the Snell Essence for a while. I'll try it as a skincare item as well. Honestly, I need to do some research on this product. So while I was ordering these items, I noticed some things from Paul Mitchell were on sale. This is a mini of their Super Skinny Serum, which I've heard about for years and I've never actually tried. It was $5, but I mean, this bottle is like the size of a travel size perfume. I definitely would not pick this up if it was full price, but let's give it a try today. I also picked up, before I do that, the sealing mask, the split end sealing mask. It says seal split ends and hydrates. We'll see how that goes. It was also pretty cheap. I think it was like 10 bucks on sale. And I actually am in need of a good hair mask. Trying to find a replacement for one that I love that got discontinued. So this is called a Super Skinny Serum. I have very big hair. I doubt it's gonna make my hair skinny, but it is supposed to smooth. So let's see if it does some frizz taming for me. I can definitely use frizz taming. Always. Ooh, it feels nice. Let's try it out, this serum. Oh, it smells like watermelon bubble yum bubble gum, which I'll be honest guys, is one of the best smells on earth. Perhaps. You won't often find me buying or eating bubble yum bubble gum, but occasionally my kids get it and it smells so good. The watermelon one, I don't know, there's something about that. Ooh, I love that. I hope that now I'm curious, I hope the sealing mask also smells like bubble gum. Watermelon bubble gum, be specific. I think it does. I can't really tell because I still have the serum on my hands and it's pretty strong. So I'll keep you posted on the scent of the mask when I use it on its own. And of course how it does on my hair. I'm actually gonna just kind of rub that in. Why not? But that's it, you guys. Those are all of the things I got in my part 2 and my final order from Ulta for now. Let me know what you guys picked up during the sale. If anything, let me know if you've skipped the Ulta sale for a very long time. I know a lot of us have enough makeup that we kind of just don't need to stock up on anything anymore. But that's gonna do it for this one today. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you are doing well. Please consider subscribing before you leave if you have not yet done that, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Please don't tell me that demi-nu is French for half naked, because I took 4 years of French in high school. I should know that.
Can I go see if I can play with Elle?
Sure. Just ride your bike. Just be very careful riding over, okay?
Guess where Kitty was?
Where was she?
In that box right there.
No way. She's hanging out.
Yeah.